Why do we feel lost, even when we have everything? This question haunts us in moments of silence. Maybe you've asked yourself this in the quiet of the morning, or in the midst of a crowd when you feel completely alone. You try to fill the emptiness with achievements, possessions, relationships, but the void remains. The great Greek philosopher Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." When was the last time you examined your life? Not your goals, not your success, but your inner world. Your thoughts, your feelings, your fears. You are not what you own. You are what you believe. You are what you choose to become. Nietzsche, the German philosopher, said, "One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star." Your chaos isn't your enemy, it's the source of your potential. But to harness it, you must first face it. We avoid silence because it forces us to hear the truth, and truth can be uncomfortable. Yet, it's in that discomfort that we discover our strength. In moments of stillness, we find the rawness of our own humanity. And it's here, in this deep honesty, that growth begins. We don't get to choose where we're born. We don't choose the hurts, the losses, the struggles we face, but we do choose how we respond. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." We all have a tendency to blame the system, our upbringing, our bad luck. Blame is a comfort, but it's also a trap. Blame is a cage disguised as safety, and it keeps us small. Responsibility is different. It's liberating because it places the power in your hands. The existentialist Jean-Paul Sartre said, "Man is nothing else but what he makes of himself." You are not your past, nor are you the sum of your mistakes. You are your decisions. You are your choices. And those choices are always in your control. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." In your darkest moments, you can still choose how you respond. This is the essence of your power. So ask yourself, what would you do if you took full responsibility for your life? What would you create if you stopped waiting for permission to begin? We are all moving toward the same destination, and that destination is death. This isn't meant to make you afraid, but to make you aware. When we acknowledge death, we stop taking time for granted. We stop wasting our precious moments on trivial things. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Death is the great clarifier. It forces us to reflect on the meaning of our lives. The French philosopher Albert Camus argued that the meaning of life is not something that can be given to us, it's something we must create. He wrote, "The literal meaning of life is whatever you're doing that prevents you from killing yourself." This may seem grim at first glance, but there's profound truth here. The pursuit of meaning begins with living, with staying engaged with life, even in the face of struggle. You don't need to find a grand cosmic purpose. Meaning is built in the small moments, in the way you love, in the way you show up, in the way you grow. Your meaning is created with every step you take, not in a distant future, but right now. To live fully, we must embrace one thing. We cannot control everything. In fact, control is an illusion. Rainer Maria Rilke, the Austrian poet, said, "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final." To live fully, we must embrace both beauty and terror, the highs and the lows, the certainty and the uncertainty. Life is not about mastering everything, it's about surrendering to it. The key to living a meaningful life is not control, but acceptance. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, once said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." Even in our suffering, we have the power to choose, to transform, to heal. So let go of the idea that you must control everything. Let go of perfection. Let go of the need to always be in control. Trust the process of becoming. Trust the mess. Trust the mystery. What if, instead of striving to be perfect, you allowed yourself to be real? In the age of social media, we're taught to hide our flaws, to curate our image, to show only the best version of ourselves. But authenticity is what connects us, not perfection. Socrates said, "To know thyself is the beginning of wisdom." The real freedom is in being yourself. Not the version of yourself that others expect, not the version of yourself that fits into the box. When you let go of the need to impress, you finally allow yourself to be free. You are enough. You were enough from the beginning. You were never meant to be perfect, only to be real. The past is gone, the future is uncertain. The only time we truly have is now. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk, said, "The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment." The present moment is all we can control. It's the only time we can truly live. When you stop chasing the past or future, you begin to experience the richness of life in the here and now. The key to peace is being present. The key to joy is appreciating the moment. So ask yourself, what would it feel like to fully embrace this moment? What if you stopped waiting for the next big thing and realized that this is the big thing? Finally, ask yourself, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Mahatma Gandhi said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." True fulfillment comes not from fame or wealth, but from the difference you make in the lives of others, from the way you love, serve, and uplift. You are here for a reason. Your purpose is to be the best version of yourself, not for the applause, but for the impact you create. And as you build your life, remember that your legacy is not written in grand monuments, but in the small acts of kindness, love, and integrity. The journey inward is not easy. It's not always clear, but it's the only path that leads to true freedom. So take a deep breath, reflect on your life, and ask yourself, who am I? And remember, the journey never ends. It's a process, a becoming. And you are just getting started. You are not broken. You are unfolding. Healing is not linear. Some days you'll feel whole, other days you'll feel like a stranger to yourself. Both are part of the journey. There's no map for becoming, no perfect blueprint. There is only awareness and a willingness to keep going. Sometimes courage is not loud. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to try again tomorrow. In a world obsessed with answers, learn to love the questions. Rainer Maria Rilke said, "Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves." Growth isn't always visible. Sometimes it looks like rest. Sometimes it looks like saying no. You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to take a breath. You don't have to earn your worth. You are worthy as you are. We spend so much time looking outward for validation, for purpose, for belonging. But the most profound answers are found within. The philosopher Lao Tzu wrote, "At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want." So much of life is noise, but in silence, you remember. 8 seconds, You remember that joy is not a destination. It's a way of being. Gratitude turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. When you slow down, you realize the small things were never small. The sound of laughter, the warmth of a hug, the comfort of a sunrise. These are the treasures we overlook while chasing the illusion of more. The ego seeks to conquer. The soul seeks to connect. We were not meant to walk this path alone. Human connection is not a luxury, it is a lifeline. In a disconnected world, being present with someone is a revolutionary act. So choose kindness, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Kindness is never wasted. It echoes beyond what you can see. Don't underestimate the ripple effect of one good deed, one honest conversation, one act of love. The philosopher Hannah Arendt once said, "The smallest act in the most limited circumstances bears the seed of a new beginning." You are not here by accident. You are part of something greater. And even when life feels like chaos, there is meaning waiting to be created. You don't have to see the whole path, just take the next step. So, breathe, slow down, come back to yourself. The present moment is not a distraction, it is your life. And in this moment, you are enough. We often search for answers in the external world, but the most important questions live within us. What do I truly value? What am I afraid to face? What kind of person do I want to become? We're taught to seek validation from grades, from followers, from job titles. But none of these things can tell us who we are. There's a voice inside you, quiet, often drowned out, that already knows what matters. But to hear it, you must slow down. You must get quiet. You must be willing to listen. This is where real growth begins, in presence, in awareness, in self-honesty. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right where you need to be to begin. Healing is not linear. Some days you will feel strong. Other days you'll feel like falling apart. Both are part of the process. Growth is not a straight line. It's a spiral, circling deeper into truth. We live in a world of constant distraction, but the most meaningful transformation happens when you unplug and tune in. You won't always have clarity, but you can have courage. You won't always feel ready, but you can take the next step anyway. Progress is quiet. It happens in moments when no one is watching, when you choose integrity over comfort, when you show up, even when it's hard. One of the most powerful decisions you can make is to live with intention, to stop running, to stop hiding, to show up as you are. You don't need permission to begin. You don't need perfection to be worthy. The world doesn't need more flawless people. It needs more authentic people. People willing to be real, to be vulnerable, to be kind. Every scar tells a story. Every wound holds wisdom. Your past is not your prison, it's part of your becoming. Don't rush the unfolding. Trust the slow miracle of transformation. Each breath is a new beginning. Each moment is a choice. So inhale courage, exhale doubt, and take the next step toward yourself. You are not broken. You are becoming. 10 seconds. Sometimes we believe we need to have everything figured out. A plan, a timeline, a perfect version of ourselves to present to the world. But the truth is, no one really has it all figured out. We're all learning. We're all stumbling forward. Even the strongest people you admire, they've had moments of doubt, of failure, of fear. Strength isn't the absence of struggle. It's the willingness to keep going despite it. There is no perfect moment to begin. There is only this one, right here, right now. If you're waiting for the fear to go away, you'll be waiting forever. Fear doesn't mean stop. It means something matters. You can carry fear with you, but you don't have to let it drive. The world has enough critics. What it needs is more people brave enough to build, to imagine, to try. We're so used to measuring our worth in numbers, how many views, likes, followers, dollars, but the deepest value in life can't be measured. How do you measure kindness? How do you measure integrity? How do you measure the quiet impact of showing up for someone when they needed it most? We've been conditioned to strive, to chase, to constantly improve. But improvement without presence becomes emptiness. You are not a project to be completed. You are a life to be lived. What if success isn't about reaching the top, but learning to love the climb? What if happiness isn't found in what you get, but in how you give? What if your life isn't meant to be extraordinary by the world's standards, but deeply meaningful by your own? Imagine waking up one day and realizing you don't need to become someone else. You only need to return to yourself. Your childhood self, full of wonder. Your quiet self, full of reflection. Your honest self, full of feeling. This world will try to harden you, to make you efficient, to make you fast, to make you small. But you were not born to be efficient. You were born to be alive, to feel things deeply, to lose your way sometimes, to care when it's easier not to love in a world that's afraid of vulnerability. Maybe we've had it backward all along. Maybe healing isn't about changing who you are. Maybe it's about remembering who you've always been. You don't need to be anyone else. You don't need to keep up. You just need to come home to yourself. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are breathing. You are feeling. You are here. And that means you're still becoming. So take one last deep breath with me. Inhale everything you've learned, everything you've faced, everything you've survived. And as you exhale, let go of the pressure to be anything other than who you are. Let this be your permission to slow down, to be kind, to trust the unfolding, to begin again. The journey never ends, but today you've taken another step, and that is enough. Welcome home to yourself.